Hello all. Since I'm busy building the upper level on the layout, I can't really run any trains at the moment, and it's all a bit of a mess up there. So just some little projects. I have 1,000 little projects that I'm sure you all have that keep coming back. Things like locomotive maintenance. My locomotives are 20, 30 to 50 years old and they need quite a bit of TLC. But recently there have been some videos on weathering locos. To Greg of Fishblade Films. And I had a couple of locos. This was a brand new, well, fairly new loco from Roco. This was an older Marklin one. Class 216. This is a 218. This is a picture of what it looks like in service. The main thing that you notice is that the grills tend to be a little bit dark, sucking up dust and things like that. And it's a little bit non-reflective, a little bit pale in the sun. It was a very new, very toyish, with a very plasticky look. So basically all I did on this one was I have a little bit of wash here, a little bit of dark wash, and just whacked the wash over, and then got rid of most of it from the outside, and then the bits that remain are the bits that remain in the grills, which is roughly what I'm trying to achieve. Is that the grills look a bit worn, that there's a bit of dust and dirt on the outside of a locomotive. But this one's basically, that's all I did was whack some wash across. I did it about 3 or 4 times, kept wiping off the excess until the grills started to look a bit worn. The other side, notice around the doors, it's a little bit of dust collection there. The details come out quite well. The top I did the same thing, and then completed it with some dull varnish on the top and a little bit of a matte varnish on the side, clear varnish on the side. So that took about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm sure that many of you will say, well, there's a lot, it can be done a lot better, but this is good enough for me. I just don't have the patience to spend hours weathering and brushing and God knows what, so I'm reasonably happy with it for my purposes. And I did this one the same way, just a little bit of darkness across the side, some left in the grill, a bit across the top. These vents here also darkened a bit, so that's that's my attempt at weathering, just with a bit of dark paint wash and a little bit of just 1 drop of detergent in here to break the surface tension. So that's weathering locomotives. Really, the first time I've ever done any weathering on locomotives. A recent purchase. A guy had on one of the internet shops, second-hand shops, had a whole set of guards vans or conductors vans. I might add some lighting to them as well. I just did a little bit of weathering across the top because they were pristine new really when I got them, so just getting a little bit of weathering across the top to make them look as though they've been used. Train show recently, I bought a bunch of decoders, so I need to do some more maintenance. I had a decoder here. This is a really nice Series 140 locomotive, the Deutsche Bahn. Great locomotive, really good looking on the layout. But as with Marklin, it's all full metal. This locomotive is probably about 30 years old. full metal, indestructible. You can drop that and throw it away. But again, I had to take out the old decoder. I'm going to fit a new decoder. Of course, these are not DCC ready, so I do have a high power motor in there, but I'll need to hook up the DCC as another little project that's ongoing. Then at a show actually I was Friday I was at a show, and I've been looking for quite a while for some hoppers. So the food mixing plant and other places all have pits under the railways. So I wanted to set, I've got 5 of them now. These are closed hoppers for transportable goods like grain. So they wouldn't be used for coal or goods that can handle the weather, but more like things for like grain and food stock, animals feedstock that needs to be covered during transport, and that will be then sit above a pit and be loaded. So I've got 5 of those. Probably give them a little bit of a weathering up, just a bit of a wash. And so it goes on and on and on. Some decoders, signal decoders I need to put on the layout. My signals. I've got a pack of signals, LED signals for along the track. They come standard black, but the Dutch railways, the signals are painted black and white. So I need to paint the signals up before installing them on the layout. Another little project. Some of these fixed couplings, and these emulate the brake lines between the coaches. Let's get one out. So it's a fixed coupling, basically 2 NEM sockets between the carriages. If you've got a fixed rake of carriages, particularly passenger carriages, so I'll be sticking them on. A set of projects where you buy second-hand equipment like I have to do, then, for instance, I buy mostly non-Markland vans like these Rocos and Rivarossis. They're all made for 2-rail systems, all DC 2-rail systems, so the wheels are insulated. But because I have track detection with the Markland system, I just get a sack of wheels that are non-insulated and stick perhaps 1 set on each of those carriages, so that these make contact on the feedback points along the track. Can monitor the trains. So it goes on and on and on. little projects. I'm sure you all have the same thing. I'm a little bit scatterbrained as far as that goes. I go from one little project to another, and a little project and another little project. But that's what's ongoing at the moment. In the train room, I'm busy with the upper level now. Starting to lay some track. See how that works out, and also trying to complete some scenery in the mid-level here, where I might not be able to get too close when all things are completed. Closely, just bear with me here. You can see this little scene of the town of Veendam centered around the feedstock mixing plant, which I will have a grand opening of in a video or two's time, now that I've got the hoppers that can be used there. I've got a pit here, covered pit where the grain can be dumped. First, a little bit of extra scenery here. Really not much room here, so faking a bit of road here by drawing it up here. But I'll have a little bit of blue up here and have a retaining wall and a tunnel entrance or something here. But we'll have to figure all that out. It's a little bit tricky how to work all that out. A year or so ago, I made this little step from my previous layout. A step with some supports here and a leaning rod, as it were, so that I can literally lean over. The top, and it seems to be working out quite well for this particular layout. With the kitchen stool here in position like that, I can actually get up quite high now, and also do the back scene and get into the corners here. So that was a handy little step. Quick look from upstairs, and the main centerpiece of this top layer in this area will be an automobile assembly plant. I've got a Walthers kit, which I'll discuss in a following video. I'm quite pleased to have.